You are listening to the Nyx Archive, the official Relic RPG actual play podcast. You can play Relic absolutely free right now by going to relicrpg.com. Hey folks up top, I just want to let you know we had a little bit of an audio issue for the first few minutes of this episode here. A new update for one of the softwares or recording suites or whatever we use messed up everyone's presets. We figured it out around the 7-minute mark. Maddie's track in particular was really suppressed for a few moments. After a lot of fiddling in post, I got it up to being tolerable for everything, but just know that if it's irksome to you, you could skip ahead to about 7 minutes, 30 seconds, and things should be back on track. Such are the perils of an unscripted production. Thanks for your understanding, and enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Nyx Archive. I am your friendly neighborhood game master, CD Corrigan. Hey, how's it going? With me, as always, is the lovely, I'm always so afraid to introduce now because I see Marissa just locking and loading something in the corner. My lovely wife, Maddie Hammond.
Hello, I'm playing Farah.
And of course, our resident rabble rouser, sister wife Marissa,
who has no joke today.
Anyways, last we left off, we had a nice double whammy of an episode, double for us. It came out on a normal schedule for you guys, but our intrepid dungeon delvers crossed the tundra and arrived at the base of the mysterious split-faced mountain on the Bulwark Mountains, split-faced peak in the Bulwark Mountains, upon which, near the apex, their quarry supposedly lies. After making camp and not spotting a whole lot of wildlife out here, as Skink determined, somebody paid them a visit, and that was a whole situation. We met the mysterious Zero Windseer, a Gaian? ? Who didn't have a good chunk of his face, but purported to be a friend, confidant, servant of Nyx, the goddess of death, who has somehow marked these two, but not the centaurs. So that's fun. Zero revealed to them after a pleasant, relaxed conversation that there might in fact be an alternative path to their destination, but it's gonna be a tight squeeze. And upon being asked if there was maybe something that we could do for him, whatever this entity is, he said, well, not hurting me any, but there's something real gross up there, and if you wouldn't mind killing that thing, that'd be nice. And that is where we are going to pick up as we awaken to another cold, dark morning at the foothills of the Bulwark Mountains. But first, we have to do the thing we do every day on the Nyx Archive and roll for Pip!
Roll for Pip! Roll for Pip!
Roll for Pip!
Helps if I have my dice.
Evens or odds today?
What?
Do you want evens or odds today?
I want odds.
Okay.
Okay, odds for Farah. Let's see it. That's a 1.
Oh,
Pip.
Congratulations! You are mother!
I am mother.
Pip has spent several days curled up with Skink, if memory serves. Yeah. So this morning we'll say Skink, you awake first, and as you step outside, ready to begin, after a restful night's sleep, as we established last time, as you step out into the camp early, Pip was kind of maybe over your thrashing in the night, and he hops out of his Bjorn with you and hops over to nestle in with Farah and Barry the Barith around the corner in the lean-to.
Excellent.
What would you guys like to do? It is first thing in the morning. Doesn't look like the centaurs are up. Barry is still...
I actually think that Pip getting up would have woken up Skink. Mm-hmm. So she's gonna get up and poke her face out to look for Farah and go like, psst, hey, Farah, come here. Call her into the tent.
You awake to Pip nestling in with you and Skink calling your name and a snoring Barry. But that's become kind of just a constant presence.
Oh my god. Oh, so stiff. Okay. All right. I go over the tent. What's up, Skink?
Okay, so we're absolutely not telling Tula and Orlo who we talked to last night, right?
No, probably not. I mean, I don't feel like they're connected to...
And with a 1 and a 2 roll, they didn't notice this conversation.
Lucky us!
Fortuitous.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Because
Mhm,
otherwise
good
I was
call.
going to have to be like real weird and sneaky around you. But okay. No, well, we're good. Yeah. How did you sleep? Did you have any weird dreams?
I did, actually. Yeah, so, you know how Zero told us about that entity that lives in his mountain?
The one we have sworn to eliminate. Yes.
I feel like I may have had a dream about that.
Oh.
In my dream,
dream?
I mean, bad because the entity gives off bad vibes.
Okay.
But I had a dream about basically the cavern that it looks like he might be in. It might be in. I don't know. And if my dream is correct, there is a opening to this, like, outside, which means that midday, when the sun is at its highest, there should be sunlight coming through that opening, which Zero told us that this entity does not. Like, light is its weakness. So
A point of order from the DM. Blue, Farah's memory. There was actually a weak pillar to the ceiling. There was not already an existing opening.
oh, okay, that's right. But I was basically shown that if we
Broke it.
take the weak pillar out, that it would create the opening. Thank you,
Yeah.
GM. I appreciate that. And there's a dark pool underneath that pillar, I think. It was a dream. It gets muddled when we have dreams. And we were told of that secondary way of getting up there, which is going to be tighter. I don't think we'll be able to take the centaurs with us. So if we do this, we probably want to try to time it where we can get there when there's sunlight right above it. So, well, that's if my dream is accurate. So,
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad I knew we needed a conference before we went on with the day.
yes. Morning conference time.
Morning conference time. All right. Time for some of that Osk tea.
Yeah. Okay.
Osk tea.
Ask tea.
Pip is rooting around in one of your bags looking for just rations. Just, meh.
Cool. All right. I think we're ready.
Y'all awake in there?
I jump.
Well, something's moving. Yes, something is moving, brother.
Yep.
Skink
We're
sticks her
awake.
little face out of the tent. We're awake.
Blistering cold wind just
Yeah.
sweeping around. You remember, you guys are up against this rock wall and this overhang, and it's just every once in a while, it's usually you're sheltered, but every once in a while the wind kind of does that, like, swirls through, and it's just really intense for a second. So as soon as you poke your head out, just it wimby.
Yeah.
You see Orlo and Tula stirring and starting to get a breakfast source ready.
Remind me what was in the Osk tea. Wasn't it just like hot
It's
water?
just melted
It's hot
snow.
water. Yeah.
It's
Melted
just
snow. That's
melted
right.
snow.
That's right. Osk tea. I love it. I can do it with my heating abilities as an enchanter. So I immediately do that for Skink and Farah.
I think, Farah, it occurs to you that if this adventuring thing doesn't work out, you probably innately could set up a little tea shop in Osk and do, like, a pretty mediocre but survivable business.
Excellent.
Yeah, there's not a huge market for tea, but like there's lazy people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna offer it to Tula and Orlo as well.
Orlo goes, hey, why didn't ask? And Tula takes hers and goes, oh, good. Can you do more? And she pours it into the pot and just dumps what looks like some dried noodles and veggies into it and is like stirring up a little thing.
I like it. I will totally help do that.
Yeah. So with your help, she kind of just skips like a huge chunk of like what would be getting water up to a boil and making something and is able to make this kind of like veggie mash noodle thing that's actually warm and filling. Because we will need this many calories for climb today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, y'all ready to climb old Zero here? We didn't make it too far up the side before, but it'll be something.
I don't think you've ever called this mountain Zero before.
Yeah, it's Mount Zero, Mount Windseer, a couple different names for it, but we've been.
Oh,
Yeah,
curious name.
Yeah, it's one of the. I don't know where it comes from. I think maybe actually Galio could tell you back in town. His family, his tribe is kind of from this area, historically speaking. I don't know how many are still up here.
You don't say.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's supposedly was the highest peak in the Bulwark Mountains. I think a long time ago, and then whatever volcano or whatever blew its top off there, it shrunk it a little bit. I think there's a higher one out east somewhere, but still pretty big rock.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a climb. I think we can use Barry. So my suggestion is we dig in here. I mean, this is a good enough landmark as any. We can maybe find a way to mark it, put a cairn up on the ridge or something. But I suggest we dig in the packs and the sled here because we're not going to be able to get them up anyways. And this will be base camp. And we'll just kind of pack it in ice for a couple of days while we head up the mountain, just take the essentials. Put what we need on Barry. The rest of us will walk and climb ourselves. Barry should be good to carry some basics, but not a full sled and everything. And yeah, it's going to be a hard climb up there. We made it about a day up with Cassie and Chester before we found a flake vein and turned around. So up to, let me think. Yeah, up to the high forest. I kind of know the route. Past that, we're going to be in new territory for me.
Okay.
Alrighty. Is there any other entrance into the mountain that you know of?
I mean, I'm sure there's caves and cave systems and whatnot, but without knowing where I'm going, it would just be a cave to somewhere. All I know, based on Lady Sive's information, is that the divining pool entrance is supposedly, and he pulls out a map like very similar to yours, and it's got like some notes and some, and you compare, she basically gave you guys the same prompt. And he goes, so based on this, if we head up to and he's like showing, like you can barely see like the twin split peak at the top from where you guys are down the mountain. And he's like, all right, if we head up there, we get within so many yards of it and we face towards the southwest, there should supposedly be, and there's these landmarks, this, that, and the other things. And if we get around there, we should be able to find an entrance in like a gully or a gulch or something. I've never seen it. I don't know if anyone has. That's just the record that she had. So hopefully we can get there. And I don't know, we'll bring our digging equipment. I assume it's probably under snow, if nothing else.
Okay.
Can we have a little bit of table talk here?
Yeah.
The secondary entrance that we were shown that's like a tight fit. Where was it in relation to the other entrance? Do we know?
Zero gave you a specific vision. So, like, I think you know intuitively you can find this thing.
Okay.
It's a couple of miles away from your camp. And it is actually like a waterfall out, well, frozen, but a waterfall out the side of the mountain that leads to an underground stream that takes you. He described it as, I believe, as the like drainage path for the divining pool. Like it leads to it directly.
Okay. Our tent is still up, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the trick here is the centaurs don't know why you would know something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think Skake is going to go, Okay, well, I'm gonna go for a walk.
You want company?
All right. Dula's like, yes, this is high in fiber. We should all take a walk before we start climbing.
Yeah,
I too will go for a walk. And she starts backing up and goes out the other direction, like around the... Orlo's like, I haven't finished coffee yet, but all right. I mean, we're not in a rush. It's gonna be dark out for a while. All right. I mean, whatever. I'll hold down the camp while you guys go relieve yourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't wait up for me.
What? And as you walk away.
And like, I guess Skeek implies that terrible goblin business is about to happen.
That's hilarious.
So
I suppose you don't
make
want
a cleverness check.
company.
Okay, I was waiting for you to make me roll on it.
But we call for the check when there's a chance of something going well or going wrong.
Yeah.
So it's waiting for the what?
Yeah, it is.
What is that?
Both.
It is plus 3. Into the cup it goes.
We're rolling from the yogurt container today.
11.
11. All right, let's see. 3. Okay.
Oh wait, plus 3. I get a 14.
14. Yeah, Orlo's just like, what? And it's like, all right, well, we can wait for a while. It's listen, you're the leader of the expedition. It's fine.
I know. Skeek says don't wait for me, knowing full well that they all do have to wait to go as a group.
So
and just
Skink and Tula walk away, and Orlo
in opposite directions.
Yeah.
Absolutely opposite directions.
Yeah, like you're gonna have a poop duel. Just
A poop duel.
50 paces.
Oh my god.
Farah, what are you doing?
Well, I had asked if she wanted company, but then it became about poop, so that feels awkward. So,
Yeah.
I mean, hanging out
Skink
awkwardly.
is intending for sure to like just go look around and look for weirdness in the mountain. Skink is, I mean, I guess there could be relieving, but that's not really the point of what.
Are you
going to
walk several miles to where this?
No, I'm gonna walk maybe a mile, right? Like 20-minute walking pace, right? A 20-minute walk out, and then like if you ran back, it would be like 15 minutes in. So Skink's gonna be gone for like half an hour.
Okay.
All right. Vera's just gonna be like awkwardly sitting there, sort of like twiddling her thumbs.
Sorry.
And Farah's the one who knows what the entrance looks like, right? Skink doesn't know anything.
No, both of you saw it.
Both of us got it.
Both of us saw the vision. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it wasn't the dream. This was Ciro's vision that he gave us.
Ciro's conversation, exactly. So Farah, as you're sitting there, Barry shuffles out, and it's kind of like
totally get Barry breakfast.
Okay, Barry was gonna get breakfast one way or another, so it's good that one of you jumped on that. So Barry eats one of these loaves of just meat ration, whatever happens to be in there, string and all. Just
Happy Barry.
Yeah, Barry doesn't walk very far to relieve herself, but it's fine. Orlo just going, I'm just gonna. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna hang out in my tent for a little while. Let me know when they're back. He just awkwardly. Orlo's a simple guy. He doesn't know what the hell. Everyone's doing stuff.
Can we know what Orlo does in his tent while he's waiting for everyone?
Yes. Dream sequence. Cut to Orlo. Hunkers down in his tent. It's a bigger tent. It's a little taller, a deal wider, kind of more slack in the lines, just as necessity to like make a bigger enclosed warm space. But a lot more blankets and furs thrown around. You see that he kind of nestles down in that kind of horse way, like on a pad of blankets, and like throws a shawl over his back and another one. It's crazy. Pulls from one of his pockets a little journal. Dearest Melinda. It is our fourth night on the ice. Think of you constantly.
Oh.
Tula grates at my nerves forevermore. But I must admit that I am glad to have family amongst me once again. It is a reminder of how far I have drifted from my roots to interact with her who stayed so steeped in the culture and ways of our family and our clan, but I don't know. Siblings are siblings. We love them even when we want to beat them about the head. It's, well, you know. Give my best to Billy. And he just sits there and he writes like he's got a little satchel of letters.
That's so cute.
I love
Thank you for indulging me.
Skink. You set off, and you have this, you realize as you come around from the rock face and start heading off, I assume in the direction that Ciro had indicated?
Yeah, as best as Skink can tell, you know?
You actually have, there's this like sixth sense to it.
I remember that as a goblin, I have tunnel sense.
You have tunnel sense, but
yeah,
this is something else. This is like, you have a feeling when you're heading in the direction that Ciro had like directed your awareness to magically. When you were heading in the direction he had indicated, it feels correct. You feel like you're going to the right place. If you veer off of that path, it almost feels like using your offhand to like write with, where you're just like, I have all the muscles for this, but it doesn't feel right.
Right.
And so you kind of, I think you have this moment of like, oh, there's like an intuition thing happening here.
Yeah.
And you are able to walk with confidence despite like the heavy snowfall and like rocks and tundra and ice that are between you and a destination that you cannot see from this vantage point. It is like around the face of the mountain a little bit. You said you wanted to go for about 20 minutes?
I said at like a 20-minute mile pace, but
Okay.
I'm probably only going to go about 15 minutes out so that
Right.
I can go 15 minutes back. Like,
Okay,
however
okay.
quickly I get that far, you know?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I need two things from you.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to start with one. I need you to make a willpower check for me.
Okay. Coming right up. Willpower check. Okay, let's go. Yo. It's a 12 plus a 2.
Oh, very
Ooh.
good.
Oh my gosh.
Very good. Okay, you have saved yourself some trouble.
Thank God.
Okay, and then the next thing I need, because that was so good, I need you to make a precision check. And also take a fate point if you so choose.
Oh, I'm taking a fate point.
Yeah,
Changing that from a 0 to a 1. 1. All right, and a perception? No, precision.
Precision, yes. Yeah.
Precision. It's a 4. Wait, plus 2, 6.
6, all right. Yeah, you're hiking along, and you have this sense of like, okay, I feel like I can find this thing. It's over there. The snow out here, in town, the snow is up to your knees and waist sometimes. Out here, you've got to like pick a path so you don't submerge, and it's harder on like the windward side of the slopes where like the snow piles up. So you've got to be really careful about being like, okay, there's a ridge here. The snow goes there. And that looks like flat ground, but if I walk into it right now, I'm going to be in a snowdrift. So I've got to go up here. And like you kind of are like, and that's sort of how you're able to figure out this like intuitive sense of, oh, I know when I veer off of like the cardinal direction I need to go in. As you're kind of coming up and around like one outcropping and like, oh, that's really deep snow over there, you see in the distance a flickering warm light. It looks like a campfire or like a lantern light.
Other people?
and then it fades away.
Okay. Skink is gonna mark that by like splatting themselves into the snow. Like just try to like make a big mark in the snow. That would be hard because it's windy and things are moving and shifting. So Skink is gonna try to like make as big a mark in the snow as possible before heading back to report on the findings. That like I saw a light.
All right, Skink heads back. Farah, any activity on your end? Tula has returned at this point.
No.
Do not see where the skink went.
Yeah, she just, I'm sure, needed a bit of time.
I have mornings like that. Okay, after a little while, Orlo reemerges from his tent, excuses himself for a little while, comes back, and then I think about that time, we're just fully playing out the morning routine of everyone at camp at this point.
Right, yeah. So Skink comes back. Guys, I saw a light!
A light?
Well,
where? What?
Something flickered.
Okay.
What? Do we think there's... What do we do? Skink is like vaguely flustered. It doesn't have like a plan of action, but feels like telling people that I saw a light out here on the mountain should make people want to do something, and maybe they'll supply a reaction.
Skink returns to camp and tells everyone that she had seen fire. Orlo coming out of his tent going, "You saw a what now?"
Something flickered. I walked that way. And she points and go, something flickered. Someone's out here.
All right, hold on. I'll go check it out. And you see he kind of runs around the corner. And you hear him like run up to the top of the ridge. A minute or two later, he runs back down. He goes, "I don't see anything. I mean, how far out we talking here?" It is still dark at this point, by the way.
Yeah.
Which Centaur doesn't have dark vision. You two both do.
Yeah. If it was... No, dark vision isn't the same as, like, magical stuff. Like, it's just being able to see in the dark.
Yeah,
It's
night
not
vision, effectively.
Yeah. I swear I saw something. I feel uncomfortable. I feel like we should check it out.
All right. I mean, how far? Okay. All right. We can run out there. Can you tell us, like, guide us to it? How far out was this thing?
100 yards. Skink just like says a number.
Feels a little made up, but okay.
He's like, I feel like I would have seen it at 100 yards. All right, I'll follow your track. All right, come on. And are you going with him, or are you just letting?
I'm totally going with him. I want to, because at this point, I wanted a friend to go with me. I was like, I don't want to go that far away from the camp by myself.
Yeah.
But now that Chris Hemsworth the Centaur is coming with me, everything's fine.
Yeah, you see it. Farah, are you coming along, or are you staying in camp?
Oh yeah, I'm still coming.
Okay. So Orlo starts to like trot around the corner, and then like sees you two are like following. Slows himself down, like very clearly slows down.
But I also speed up. I'm like scurrying along at my. It's not very fast because it's so hard because the snow is so high. But I can at least go fast in the tracks that he made, right? Yeah,
you're scurrying after him, and then you just look behind you and see Tula like calmly walking behind you two and like keeping pace.
Yeah.
All right. He goes out about 100 yards and he kind of looks at you and he like looks at your trail and he's like, I don't want to cast aspersions, Miss Skink, but are you good with distances?
It's not my best
All right. I'm just saying, I know it's dark out, and he kind of holds up a torch. He's like, it's dark out here, but it does look like you went a lot further than 100 yards. I just wanted to point that out.
I thought you meant how far was it from what I saw?
Right. Okay. I was trying to gather how far I have to go to see what you saw.
Oh, you can just follow my snow tracks. And
right.
Skink keeps running on like, isn't it obvious where I was?
See, Orlo just kind of goes, okay. And he starts going along. You guys travel for about another 15 minutes. And you get to the point where you see a skink-shaped snow angel flopped into the snow.
Yeah.
Right. It looks to me like you turned around here.
Yeah. And I saw it 100 yards from here.
Right. I need Farah to make a willpower check, and I'm going to roll some stuff for the centaurs.
That is it's not a 12. It is a 6 plus 3, 9.
9. Okay, great. Orlo gets a 12 after his bonus. And Tula is absent. Farah. So you guys are standing there. Tula and Orlo kind of flanking Skink and looking to where you're pointing. Like, I don't really see anything. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's possible. I mean, there's other stuff out here. You might have seen like a flake deposit or something. Was it warm colored? Was it cold colored? Like, as you guys are having this conversation, Farah, you catch up and look out, and you are immediately struck more than you have been since you left Osk with this bone-chilling, deep sensation of cold. And you look out to where everyone is indicating, and you see a light that looks so warm and inviting.
Okay. I think I see the light that you're talking about, Skink. It's right there. I'm going to point to it.
As you go to point, you hear Orlo and Tula shouting at you. And you realize we're going to cut back for a second. Skink, as you're like, it was over there, and Tula and Orlo are like, da-da-da, you see Farah just fucking booking it across the tundra towards where you saw the light.
Oh, no.
So, Farah, when you go to point, you look back and see two centaurs, like, struggling to catch up to you. Like, what are you doing? Where you go? You can't just go running off in the dark. Do you see her? I don't see her. Skink, get up here. I can't see in the dark. I don't know where she went. Farah, light a torch. You see your tracks? Okay. I see your tracks, yeah.
Do I feel alarmed that I can look behind me and see them like that?
You...
Or am I...
have a beat of, like, missed time.
Okay.
And you look back, and I think you have this sense of, like, why are my friends so far behind? The light is warm. We need to get to that, or we'll freeze to death.
Okay, all right.
And then... they're further behind again, and you keep running. Skink, what are you doing right now? We're going to come back to Farah in just a second.
I know they can't see, so I try to climb on Orlo to direct him.
All right, yeah. He's like, what the heck? All right, yeah, come on. And he just like scoops you up and like plants you over his shoulder, like, where is she?
And I'm like pointing like I'm Paul Revere or something. I'm like, that way.
With you guiding, the centaurs start making significantly better time. They are, even with Farah booking it, way faster than her. The problem is they didn't know where to go. Farah, the light is getting closer. It's warmer. It's brighter. There's like a bonfire out here. And if you can just get to the bonfire, the cold will stop. I think Farah still looks back and looks for her friends and sees them starting to catch up now. And you just have a sense of like, oh, good. We're all going to the fire. We'll be warm.
Okay.
So at this point, what does Farah do?
She obviously doesn't understand that anything's wrong right now.
Yes.
Right? I do wonder if she would wait for her friends. But if I'm being compelled, then maybe not. I don't know.
I think the compulsion is just for you to like be making progress towards that destination. I don't think it encourages you to be like, you're close enough now that it feels like you'll be safe.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and make another willpower check, I will allow that to like just slacken your pace.
That is a 13.
Okay. So you are still heading towards this thing, but you're okay, I'm getting closer to the warmth. We'll be okay. You have this sense of like, I should wait for my friends. And you allow them to kind of catch up to you pretty easily. So as you guys all rock up, what is Farrah doing? What is Skink doing?
I think Skink is going to jump off of Orlo onto Farrah in like a full body tackle.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
What are you
We've
doing?
got to get to the fire. We're going to freeze to death.
What are you? What?
The fire, it's right there.
And I look up. Can I see it?
Skink, you guys are close enough now. No roll necessary. You see a flickering blue glow. Not of a fire, something more akin to like an anglerfish.
Oh. And then part of me is like, oh, that's what I saw. And then the other part of me is like, wait. I don't let go of Farrah. I'm just like on top of you, wrapping you up so that you can no longer make progress. With
a 10 plus and an 11 plus, you two feel two big ass centaurs grab you. Farrah, you hear Orlo go as he tries to, as he remembers that you're 600 pounds. Fucking lift with the legs. And he does, man, with Tula's help, to throw you over his back. Tula grabs you, Skink, and goes, "That is an ice siren. We have to go." And the two of them are booking it back to camp.
Wait, we have to get to the fire. What are you doing?
They rolled very well for their resistances to this. To just be like, we're gonna, nope, not doing that. And booking you guys back towards camp. Farrah, when you get like how far? When you get closer to like 3/4 of a mile away from this thing, the effect goes away, and you realize you're not actually all that cold. You're very well equipped with your enchanter's cloak and all this other stuff to like be out here in the ice. You were never like in danger of freezing on this little trek you were going on, but it is like a switch flips as you get far enough away from this thing, and it's like, no, why would there be a bonfire here? What would be burning? It doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna like tap on Orlo and be like, wait. I think I'm out of the like influence. What the heck was that?
Oh yeah, that's okay. Whew. Glad to have you back. I've never encountered one of those things before, but I've heard of them. That was all right. You good? All right, because you're far be it from me. You are a heavy lady. You
can put me down. I won't run away.
Oh, thank God. Clunk. All right. I did it. Don't be sore. Listen, I can load up a lot. It is something else to throw you just over in them. It's a lot. Should have brought the bear.
Dense.
Should have brought the bear. And you guys are like coming back. You're within like 50 yards of camp now, and he's kind of walking you back down. He's yeah, I've heard of them before. I've never actually seen one. They're like super rare, especially south of the bulwarks. But if I'm not mistaken, Tula's going, no, I am pretty sure, brother, I felt something very strange out there. That was an ice siren. That is not good. It is very bad. I don't really know what their deal is. I know that they create sort of like illusions, mental confusion type stuff. I've heard of a couple full expeditions just being lost after encountering one of those things.
Whoa.
So that was bad. If you see a fire in the distance, no you don't, turn around. Should have thought of that before. Like I said, never heard of one this far south, never seen one, didn't really know what to look for, but I don't know. Sis says, and I trust her.
Skink
Yeah.
looks over at Farah and goes, I'm glad you're not dead.
Thanks, Skink.
Right. Okay, well, that was a brisk start to the morning. You guys, I mean, you shouldn't be feeling any ill effects after a few minutes here, so we should be good. I think we dodged that one.
Yeah, I feel fine now. That was so strange.
Yeah, I don't like stuff that messes with your head like that, man. It's bad. And he kind of like sidelong. Actually, go ahead and roll a cleverness check. Anyone who wants to.
That is an
I only got a 5.
Weird.
9. 9.
All right, yeah, 9 will be enough. He's not being super subtle about it. But you see, as he's like, I don't like stuff that messes with your head like that. There's like a little like tension sidelong glance at Tula, and he just kind of. And I think you get the sense she seems much more comfortable with what just happened than he does. And I think you get the sense of like, okay, both of them have like dealt with not that, but things that do that kind of thing before.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there's a reason Orlo doesn't see his family that often.
Oh.
Yeah.
Skink is also bummed now because they were so convinced that they were going the right direction earlier, like with that internal like compass sense, and now Skink is like, well, shit, how am I gonna get everyone to go this way if the way that I just directed was the right way and it went very bad? What am I gonna do about this?
Does Skink still trust that intuition is my question to you. Genuine question.
Oh, Skink has no doubt. But the problem is, how do I become in charge? Like, how do I lead? Skink is like, I know what I want to do, what I think is correct. But leading a whole group of people is like not Skink's forte.
Right.
Skink does not have the personal camaraderie skills, you know, like the personal development skills to like be a leader in a group.
You guys return.
I actually
to your camp.
wonder, would Farah have felt that same sense as we went this direction?
Did I?
You did, yeah.
All right.
We just seem so untrustworthy now.
You guys arrive back to camp, and I think as you two are having that sort of internal audit, you see Tula and Orlo going over to the sled and pulling off packs and tools and things. And you see that it has actually been packed in such a way that like the climbing rations and apparatus and gear and everything are like made to be taken off the sled and taken out as like a secondary trek. And he goes, all right, well, Mrs., we're on your payroll. So whenever you guys are ready, I think we can start the climb.
Give us just a minute.
Yeah, no worries.
Wait, I have a question.
Yep.
How do the sirens affect people? Like, is it through sound, like water sirens?
Well, I think it's like a sight thing. Like they have I don't know, Tula, you take, and he goes, yes, it is sort of they project out an illusion of warmth and safety and homecoming, and if you perceive it and it like gets its roots into you, which it doesn't always do. But if it like gets into you, it can affect how you perceive not only them, but how you are perceiving yourself. And it makes you feel like you are in need of them.
Okay.
And I think mechanically speaking, it's the light. It is if you see the light.
Okay. Like an anglerfish.
Yeah. Very much so.
All right. So let's just take a minute to convene. Skink, chat with you over here.
Skink goes, yeah, I need to take care of Farah and see if she's suffering any lingering effects.
I mean, you shouldn't be, but all right. I mean, listen, it's your show, so you do whatever you want. I'm gonna go take a walk.
And Skink makes a little show of like patting Farah and saying like, okay, let's take care of you.
All right. So we know we need to go that way, right?
Oh, we totally need to go that way. We absolutely need to go that way.
Okay, so I
But-
wonder if we can follow that feeling of rightness blindfolded, because I think that's the only way we're going to make it past that side.
Oh, blindfolded.
Well, we can't look, right?
I know. Oh my god. Well, I didn't fall victim to, although I did. Nothing bad happened to me. It was only you. Skink has this like false sense of like immunity from
Fair.
what happened before.
You could try to lead, but my fear is that if it might affect you. Maybe you didn't get quite close enough. We just
Maybe.
got close enough for it to get me
Yeah.
last time.
Well, do you think that they'll still let us go that way? They're not going to mutiny on us, are they?
I don't know. We could always tell them what's going on and that we're pretty sure there's danger.
Skink is very internally conflicted.
Okay.
But what if you tell them that you had a dream?
I don't
I don't want to
think
tell them
well,
that. Well,
Tula might think that my dream is real, but I don't know that Orlo will.
Arlo doesn't seem to. I don't know.
As you guys are having this discussion, Pip, are you like back in your tent?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Pip kind of hops up and he's been sort of like nuzzling into like Farah's crook of your neck, just like mother. But you feel him as you're talking, he kind of hops down, he goes over to his little like nested area and he comes back. And he is holding that big white feather that he picked up somewhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he just sort of like, he's like nudging you with it. And then you realize after a moment, like he's trying to get you to like take the feather, Farah.
Okay. I'm gonna take the feather.
As you pick up the feather, you feel that it like pulls. It's got a tug to it. Like it is trying to take you somewhere.
This is weird, Skink. His feather is operating somewhat like a compass.
What?
Yeah. You want to feel it?
Okay.
I'm gonna hand her the feather.
Skink takes the feather.
It is pulling you like down towards the floor. Like it's
Whoa.
pulling your hand like a magnet towards the floor.
Skink like fully lays down on the floor to see what happens. Just like
As the feather comes in contact with the ground, your hand starts doing, and it starts scribbling out words in the dirt.
wait, dirt?
Oh, you're in your tent. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Dirt, ice, ground, whatever.
Okay.
But it just starts scratching as if you're writing. So if you allow it to continue to do this, it says, "Ladies, I'm glad Pip delivered my feather. What is the status of the expedition thus far? You've been out there for several days."
Oh!
And then you see that it sits for a minute and it's not pulling anymore. And then it goes,
Wait.
"Oh yeah, sorry. When I'm not writing, you can write and I'll see it."
Fun.
And then I look and lock eyes with Farah and go, Sive.
Ah, yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Friend bird.
Friend bird?
Friend bird. Big owl.
Friend bird. I like hand the feather back to Farah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll write. But first I want to do a maybe a precision. You tell me what I would do, but I kind of want to like. She's picking up that Pip is saying that his friend is an owl, and that the owl and Sive are potentially the same person.
That would be a cleverness. Well, so what are you trying to investigate? Are you trying to confirm that suspicion or
Yeah.
see if you know something about it? Okay. Just to like confirm and infer what Pip is trying to communicate, cleverness.
Oh, that is a 14.
14. Did you get a nat 12?
No, I got an 11.
Oh, all right. 14. You do a thing. That seems to be what Pip is saying. Pip is equating the owl and his friend who gave him the shiny rock as the same entity.
So I think Sive must be able to shapeshift. She's just getting curiouser and curiouser.
Mm-hmm.
The tug happens again as you're holding the feather.
Okay. And I will write back. We are at the base of Mount Sear, looking for a way.
Oh, good. I thought you were dead for a second there. Fantastic. Anything important to report?
And like, I feel like it's immediately the vibe of like the teacher checking in on the class after the class was unattended for like 10 minutes.
Nothing's happening. We didn't do anything.
We can.
It sounds guilty when I tell the truth.
I feel so guilty when I tell the truth.
We could tell her about the ice siren.
Yeah, we could. Let's say that we avoided an ice siren. That sounds cool, right?
Yeah. We avoided. So I'm gonna write. We avoided an ice siren. Now we're contemplating how to get in.
You see the pen literally. She literally does a ... like just tapping it in place, so you know she's thinking.
Tapping in place.
Interesting to find one that far south. Wretched little things. Good job on you for avoiding it. They're not a good time. If you have to go past it, blindfold should work, or just burn it from a distance. They look like fire, but they're actually not. They don't like it much.
Good to know is what I write back. Thanks.
Quill will alert me if you guys need to send a message. I'll get somewhere I can respond as soon as I can. Keeping it on me at this point. Good luck on the ascent.
Excellent. Talk soon.
That's it.
Okay.
Cool. Neat.
Cool.
Should I give it back to Pip?
Pip snatches it out of your hand and goes and tries to like hide it in his little. Well, at this point, he's like riding in your hoodie, so he just kind of like tucks it into his little. He's got like a little sewn pocket in there for his trinkets. I think you guys have both made some accommodations for Pip's stashes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So he just tucks it back in there. Mother.
All right, so we could burn it.
But it wasn't actually directly on our path. It was just something that we saw from the right way that we have to go.
Yeah, you guys would have like passed parallel to it, and it was just sort of like a diversion.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But
we'd have to pass it, so.
Okay. I'm just gonna, you know what? Let's just try telling Tula and Orlo that we just have a hunch that we were going the right way. And that something bad happening was proof that it was the right way.
Okay, yeah, and we could say, like, Sive just confirmed that it's weird that siren is this far south. So we could say that we think that I agree, that it's maybe the right way because there's something there that's not supposed to be.
Or we could just say Sive told us to go that way.
Oh, we could.
Just tell him Sive said so.
All right, I like that. Let's do that.
The GM was waiting for that little out.
I love when things don't have to be my responsibility, is how Skink feels.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. We'll exit the tent and go find them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gathered up. And all right, a couple of packs for everybody. Ready to start climbing whenever you are.
Right.
So...
You have the look of some people who are going to tell me that I just did a bunch of work I didn't need to do.
Well,
oh no, you totally need to do it. We're gonna have to go
All
somewhere.
right, I feel a little better about that. Good.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have a way of communicating with Sive, and
Oh, well, that's fucking handy.
Yeah.
See, Orlo's like, just stamps a hoof real quick, like, cool. That would have been, all right.
she learned from the last expedition, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes, and Atula kind of pats his shoulder and goes, sometimes the whole point of what you do is to be an example for the next person not to fuck up.
Ouch.
Oof.
Ouch. Wait,
Like,
which one of them is older?
I don't know if they've said.
Because as like, as someone who could have been like the younger sister, like saying that to the older brother as an example, you know, after years of like, you're the thing that I'm not supposed to be.
As an older brother, let's just assume that's what just happened.
Yep.
Because I've heard that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, so she told us that the sirens are weird, but probably an indication we're going the right way.
Right. You saying this thing is guarded, like by weird Arctic entities and shit?
Hard to say. She just said that was probably the direction we should go. And she said we can use blindfolds to get past it, or we can burn it.
Jesus. All right. Well, nope. Can't say Jesus because that would apply a lot of weird things.
His nose starts bleeding.
Hells. That's how you know it's fantasy. There's more than one.
Yep, exactly.
He just goes, well, hells. All right. That's, sure. Listen, you're paying me either way, so that's fine. So we're going back by the siren now. You guys, any of you got fire magic or equipment or anything like that? Or we could probably blindfold up and just get past it. Do you know where we're going after that?
We do.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to question the big lady back home. So, great.
I can make things explode, but I don't think I have a lot of fire.
Right. And Tula goes, we could wrap up some crossbow bolts and set them on fire if we needed to. Something.
We could do that.
Skink is just like kind of pissed that her shadow mage stuff isn't like quite strong enough to carry an entire group of people. Like,
sure,
going around in the dark is fine for me,
right.
But I can't just like shadow magic 5 beings if you include like the bear away somewhere.
Can you use your cloud? Don't you have like a?
You could make it so no one could see the light.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
There we go. So
yeah.
Skink is like, well, I might have something for us. So which spell is that? That is
Aura of Shadow at the top of your Shadow Mage page, or it's the one that is mislabeled if you're looking at the Word document.
Reduces, yeah, so it's the one that just reduces current light?
Yeah, but since you are in the dark,
right,
it would basically make it blinding. And I also think there's a Shadow Mage trick to make just straight up darkness as well, so that would also be an option.
Yeah.
Outside of initiative, where you're not worried about spending mana,
yeah,
your options are pretty good for being able to do this.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I think the Aura of Shadow would honestly be enough.
Yeah.
You
so
gathered everyone close.
How big is the Aura of Shadow?
Well, it says that it's a 5-foot radius around me, but I think that, Chris, are we in a place of power yet? Is my like radius bigger, or is it also more likely to work because we're already in mostly darkness anyway?
You are not yet in a place of power. Looking at Shadow. Okay, so you have two options here.
Okay.
Aura of Shadow is a 5-foot radius sphere around yourself. If you are riding on top of Orlo and Tula and the bear crunching close to him, and Farah's on top of one of them as well, that'll cover everybody because it's 5 feet in all directions.
Yeah.
So that's the easiest option. The
Great.
other option you have is that dark light ability would make it so everyone who doesn't have dark vision is completely blinded. For you two, it would not help, but it would blind the centaurs and I think the bear as well. So that's another option. But I think the Aura of Shadow would be enough.
I think Aura of Shadow is what Skink would try first.
You all just have to stay close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was like, so I explained to them, well, you'd have to trust us to guide you, but I have the ability to cloak us in enough shadow that we would not see the ice siren.
You see Orlo's kind of like, oh, right, yeah, and Tula's like, this seems fine. I am used to having my vision taken from me and sent to impossible and terrible places. What is blindfolding myself and walking across an icy tundra full of crevasses and rock slides going to be any worse than the things I have seen in my sleeps?
God. Poor Tula.
I am very happy with my life. I am content with my lot in the world. I have just seen beyond things that should not be seen.
All right. So the best way for this to work is for all of us to gather as closely as possible.
Yes.
So, is Barry
Orlo
coming with us?
I would assume that we're gonna take him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Barry's not staying at base
She's
camp,
carrying most of our stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah. And you see, he goes, Miss Farah, would you mind riding on Barry, maybe, or
I can walk. I know. I do think I should be tied to somebody because
I
we
was
have
wondering if you
we
could
have dark
ride
vision.
on this, if you're on the sled that is being like.
Well, we're not gonna take the sled up the mountain. That's not gonna work too well.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I should be tied.
All right.
I think it would be maybe a good idea. I know she wasn't affected last time, but Skink might want to be tied to somebody as well.
Actually, I think that's a good idea. Is we should all maybe like rope ourselves together real quick, just especially if we're in the dark, so we know if someone starts running.
Yeah.
Because the chance, maybe it gets one or two of us. The chance of getting all of us seem to be pretty low at the same time, and then at least we can intervene. So I think that's a good call. Let's do that. And he goes ahead and he makes little. We don't need to put them on until we get there, but I made a couple little loops for us. I like knots.
Perfect. Okay.
He's just so useful. He's so handy.
And he's handy to look at.
Yeah. Okay.
Tula like.
So Skink
You're
asks.
also useful too.
Skink asks Orlo, should I ride one more time to guide us this far?
You see Tula chuckles and Orlo goes, yeah. All right, don't just do me he scoops you up and he puts you on his back and he goes, just do me a favor. When we get back to town, don't tell anyone.
And Skink just looks him dead in the eye and goes, this never happened.
You see, you actually like feel him relax a little bit, and he's like,
"Oh,
I knew I liked you."
Yeah.
Listen. I mean, I carried Chester out too. Like, I get it, needs must and all, but like, not. It's easy to get a reputation as like the guy who will give rides, and then that's all anyone fucking wants to do, and it's just a whole thing. So I appreciate it.
Everybody is close now and like about to take off, right?
I think so.
All right. So, Skink.
Do we need it yet, or should we wait until we get closer?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You kind of wait until you're like 10 minutes out before you like lash together.
I was like, I want to make sure like everybody stay in formation, you know?
So you guys pack up, load up, and hike back out. Not quite to the Snow Angel. But I think as you're getting like kind of coming up that crest in the mountain, Orlo and Tula kind of stopping. All right, I think it's I think this is about where we need to start implementing. You know where we're going.
Yep.
Trust me.
Do we both feel the
Yeah.
For
pull?
sure. Yeah, it is like a magnet or a compass or like a pendulum that's just sort of pulling you in the right direction.
Okay.
Skink's still like, I won't lead you astray.
Right. Okay.
Knowing full well that like he might not trust her.
Yeah, knowing full well that you've got a cardinal direction and not any sort of topographical.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like this thing could lead you straight off a cliff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I'm imagining this as like they're still walking in their formation, and Skink just starts to whisper like, and is like casting little shapes in the air, and then slowly everything was dark already, but it just slowly gets darker and darker, like someone just put a dimmer switch on everything around them.
Mm-hmm. As you pressed over, and I believe as a shadow mage, you can see through your own darkness. But we'll say, because this was a clever solution overall, as you kind of crest over the place where the fracas happened before, you, through your own darkness, are able to perceive this, like, it's almost like an annoying strobe light, as it's like filtered through and like disrupted whatever illusion magic that it is doing, and only because you personally are able to see through your own magic, you're getting like this interference over here of just like, oh, that's where that thing is, and you can kind of see it more for like it's an effect that is happening rather than like a benign light in and of itself. And so you are able to perceive like, oh, there it fucking is, and it's like 200 yards that way, down the slope, and just sort of beckoning and like trying to work its magic on your group, but no one in your group, as you can see it right now. Even Farah with her dark vision cannot see through your shadow mage abilities, we'll say, for the purposes of this.
Yeah.
You both do feel this sort of like suggestive pull towards it as you go past the place where this thing had affected you before, but it's easy to dismiss. It is like, nope, don't need that, thank you. And you are able to kind of walk past. And we'll say after about 5 minutes, Skink, you are able to perceive that you get to a place where like the lee of the mountain is blocking the direction this thing was. And you can safely drop your provisions.
Okay. And so Skink knows that like this isn't necessary, but always for dramatic effect, just slowly lifts her arms up with the lightning, like the brightening of the shadow, so that it looks really cool. Because there's nothing if not theatrics.
With a 4, Orlo's like, that's really impressive. And Tula just kind of looks at you and goes, I appreciate that. You guys find yourself overlooking a ridgeline down onto what you see is a frozen lake. A couple of like evergreen trees heavily laden with snow kind of line the banks, kind of going up. There's like a little bit of a forest on this side of the mountain. Not super common in a lot of the tundra that you've seen thus far, but something about this particular mountain, it doesn't even extend like down the mountain range. It is only on Mount Zero, where you see this like dark evergreen forest partially climbing up the way around the sides of this lake. And you see set into the mountainside across the ice sheet of this frozen lake is a frozen waterfall, maybe a couple dozen yards up into this rock face. And it's about a mile from where you're standing on top of this ridge, but you do see like the outline of it.
We need to go there.
And I like sitting atop Orlo, I just say to him, because we can all see it, I just say, well, what do you make of that?
It looks cold and possibly kind of looks over at the Barith and at Farah and is like, should be frozen pretty solid. Yeah, it'll be fine. He's like, you can see him doing the math. He's like, and then Tula goes, we can check before we get like out there. We have magic. We've got like magic and shit. It's fine.
We could also cross separately or like walk on it.
I do think we will have to spread out our weight a little bit. Like centaurs are not exactly lightweights ourselves.
I was going to say, if you put 2 centaurs and Farah on a sheet of ice.
Yeah, it's occurring to me as we're having this conversation that I'm
a lot of weight
centaur,
on a pinpoint.
my sister's a centaur. We have got a 2-ton Bareth over here, the densest gnome I've ever fucking seen in my life, and a goblin. And
well,
if we spread it, I actually listen. I've heard it's actually a compliment in a lot of gnome cultures. So I hope that reads. It was meant as a positive. I too am blessed with the sturdiness. If we all spread out, there's a pretty good chance that at least Skink survives. So I think we do that, right? Like, Skink, I think you have a moment of being like, I am lighter by like 10x than anyone else in this group.
Yeah, Skink is like, wait, I don't want to be the only 3-ounce living being solely responsible for the rest of this quest. Skink suddenly has a sense of being like a leaf, like a fallen leaf on the wind, and immediately dislikes this.
You realize that Orlo has actually forgotten that he is carrying you as you're like making your way down to the shore. And you get, I think at some point you say something, he's like, Jesus Christ, right. Can't say Jesus again. Fuck, all right, cool. Hey, I didn't forget you were back there. You guys make your way down to the frozen shoreline and dismount. And Tula goes, and you see she goes, don't. Okay. I can find out how thick this ice is if we are worried about it. It's something I can only do every sunrise or sunset, so I don't like it. And Orlo just goes, you're gonna do the thing. It's like, I'm going to do the thing. It gives me sight beyond sight, and that is very useful for determining like the thickness of objects and stuff. It might freak you guys out a little bit.
Alrighty.
Skink is both terrified and deeply interested.
Orlo goes, you don't have to watch. I'm actually gonna go over here. And he just like walks and just stands behind a tree. Nope.
I think
Farah is actually totally gonna watch. You know, Farah has a weird like attraction to just like knowing things. She's deeply curious right now.
You guys can go ahead and make a
I was gonna say Skink was gonna go stand behind a tree, like, I'm not gonna watch, but totally watch. Like from behind the tree.
So if you want to just go like hide behind a tree but actually keep watching, that's totally fine. If you're trying to make it so Tula can't tell you're watching, roll a precision check to hide for me. But if you're just like then it is what it is. Farah,
fully just
yes.
Are you expressing first of all, are you vocalizing any of this? But also, is like the nature of your curiosity like a social thing, or are you trying to analyze like based on magical intuition, like what is happening?
I don't even know if it's like she's trying to figure out what's happening. She just was told that it's freaky and she has some sort of ability, and Farah just wants to watch.
Go ahead and make a cleverness check for me.
That is a 9.
9, all right. Not bad.
Dice, I don't think.
It's very determined to roll 9s for you, it seems like.
Well, it's the one with the skull in it, so I think it's actually not super balanced. Because I can tell that it's a bead, so it's a different density.
It's funny. So you everyone else kind of like fans out, and I think Farah, you stay close enough with Pip, just sort of nestled down in your hood. You stay close enough to clock. Like Tula seems very comfortable with whatever the hell she's dealing with. But there is a little moment as everyone's like, oh, okay, we need to hide ourselves from whatever you're doing, where she just kind of goes, and then she looks over and sees you just standing there, just looking with like genuine curiosity. And she kind of just like brightens up a little bit. And she's like, oh, you are not? Okay. All right. This might. Welcome to the show. She goes over to the ice and she kind of like leans down. Centaurs are weird. She kind of like folds over and like kind of feels it out a little bit. Okay. All right, here we go. She is going to use her ability as part of her build as an avatar ability. She is going to adopt her avatar form. Farah and Skink, you are both watching, but Farah, you are up close to this thing. You see the reality around Tula twists is the best way to describe it. It's almost like a cubism painting where like you're looking at her back, but you can see her eyes. Like you are looking at like her kind of moving into this place, but somehow you're perceiving her from angles and directions and lighting that doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit with the scene. Literally unknowable visage. Creatures that perceive you in your avatar form cannot accurately describe the details of your appearance. What you are looking at is both Tula, not Tula, the Tula that never was and the Tula that never could be, but also every Tula that ever has been at the same time.
I got mind fucked.
You got mind fucked, literally. So you are not within 5 feet of her?
No, I think I would have stayed. I stayed back.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Skink, you're seeing all of this too, but like further removed. But you see Tula kind of reaches out and like perceives the lake around her with, there's like a flickering moment where like in one eye you can kind of see like something different than what you're seeing in the other eye. She's using, for those at home, she's an avatar of the Eldritch domain. She is using a particular power in her avatar form called Veil Sight, which allows her, I'll read it. While using Veil Sight, your passive detection increases. Veil Sight allows you to see in the dark, even in magical darkness, through objects and creatures, through solid surfaces, around corners, detect invisible creatures and objects, glimpse into non-material planes that may be intersecting with yours at that location, sense ley lines, currents of magic, the ether, and other interdimensional forces if they are disturbed. Veil Sight is weird and cool, and it's a lot of fun for GMs. She kind of does this for a few moments, and then the effect sort of fades out, and Tula is standing there once again. Farah, you are able to perceive that, like, some of the, as you, like, kind of gather back together, and Orlo, is it over? Yes, it's over. Come on. As you all kind of gather back together around the shore, Farah, I think you look down and you see a rock that was just sitting there, just like a normal rock. But the grain of it has twisted and clipped among itself, and it like literally looks like parts of the rock were set against its own grain as if it formed a different way, and that's just sort of like patchworked into the rock. Like being around her would have been painful. Got it. And it just sort of comes back. Okay, all right. The old one slumbers still. That is good. That is good for us. Good news. It looks, from what I can see, it does look like the ice is many, many meters thick in all directions from here, even up to the deeper areas out there. So I don't think we are in much danger. This has been frozen for quite a long time. You could probably drop a building on this lake and no issue.
So Farah can walk across it.
Yes. As far as I can tell, there's at least 30 feet of solid ice straight down. So I think we are as safe as ever. Probably more than.
I think with that, I mean, Skink always knew, but was sort of waiting for the go ahead. Skink is gonna just like run out and jump
there she goes.
Slide, just like full slide, like spinning, out on the ice.
Farah, you feel as Pip belly slides onto the ice after Skink and is just spinning out after her.
Yeah, and then we look at each other like, nice ride, bro.
Or just like, oh, there they go. Or like goes, that does look like fun. Real hard to do without breaking a leg. Anyways, great. Well, I think we're good to head on over to that yonder waterfall. And unless you guys stop, and they are setting off across the ice. You guys approach what appears to be just a similar to where you had encamped a few miles away, sheer rock wall that clearly had flowing water down it at some point in the distant past, long since frozen over, such that the ice is almost like glacial, but frozen wherever it was, and clearly doesn't show a lot of signs of like melting and thawing and refreezing. Like this has just been frozen. It is almost rock, except that it is made of frozen water instead of like sedimentary buildup and whatever. You do see there is an opening about, we'll say a dozen yards up, like 30, 40 feet up, where this is flowing out. You can see into it. There is a small cave there from this vantage. You get there and Orlo and Tula are kind of looking at each other like,
I think Skink just looks at it and goes, "This is what we're climbing, right? We can climb this, right?"
Listen. No, not for me. That's a no from me. Sheer wall, not the easiest thing to do. You get that we're half horse, right? Like that's not.
I think Skink sort of like does this little goblin like, I don't know.
Shrug.
You said you brought climbing gear.
Yeah, to like get up an incline, but I can't just freebase this. Like this is. I don't know if that's the right word. Whatever. You said you had a communication to Miss Sive. You wanna maybe ask her?
You want us to ask her how a centaur climbs a waterfall? She's gonna think it's a riddle. Wait, I love this. And so Skink loves the idea of sending a riddle and wondering if Sive will have a real answer or like an answer that nobody knew that we needed.
I like it.
So Skink goes off to the to Pip to get the feather.
Pip from the back of Farrah's hood just looks very official, like, and he goes and like rustles around and he pulls the feather out, and you see that he's waiting for like a shiny object.
I think I'm gonna just like scritch the little feathers as a distraction until a later time.
And he hands off the feather to you.
So I go over to the snow so I can like write on the snowbank. I was like, "How does a centaur climb a frozen waterfall?" I just leave it at that.
See, tap, tap, tap. Well, if he's dead, you've got that bottle.
I
haven't heard this one before.
Skink nervously looks over her shoulder and then scratches out the snow because she doesn't want anyone to see.
It starts running again. Oh shit, are they right behind you? I was joking. I was sorry. And then it starts writing again, and it says, I mean, there is a frozen river on the path up the mountain, but I thought I'd mapped out a route where they wouldn't have to do a sheer climb. Is it possible you're off course?
I just write back, no. And then
JK, it was a joke. It was a riddle.
and then say like, I just learned a new riddle.
Okay, so what's the answer?
And then I write back, I haven't figured it out yet.
I shall contemplate this for many moons. We shall compare our answers when you return. I am eager to see what your thesis is.
So now Skink's like, all right, nobody knows the answer to the riddle. And I distinctly remember that in the vision, Ciro had said like, well, your other pals might not be able to make it, but you can.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Bear's gonna say, "Hey, Skink, didn't Sive say that at this point we would be able to? We'd probably have to traverse on our own."
Perhaps this is not 100% necessary. I think Skink really does not want to lose the companionship. Well, because Skink doesn't ever want to have to carry anything, and it's been so handy to have all these other stronger creatures carry stuff.
Well, so what I can say is like, if that was the plan, I guess, do you want us to take Barry and like move the base camp over here? Because we could do that. It'd take us a little while. We'll cut a wide path around the siren. Or we can try and climb to the top and like meet you there. I don't know how long this route will take. I could see. I assume there's an advantage in taking this one over the other one. Is it like faster or safer or something? Like that's fair. I get that.
Doesn't require digging.
Right. I mean, it's so up to you. We can wait here for you, and we'll move base camp over here and at least be ready when you come out in a day or two. Or we can go overland ourselves and hope to meet up with you at the compound. And
Actually,
if we have to dig our way out or way in or whatever, like maybe. Because who knows? Maybe this collapsed last week, and you're gonna run into a dead end. So, like, maybe we can come up with a.
I have an idea. What if the two of us manage to get to the top and can see in and see that there is for sure a way, then you can be on. Then we'll meet you on the other side. But if we climb up there and it looks closed off, then we'll come back down, and all four of us will look for a new way in.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair enough. We've got the provisions for it. We can divide out. Everything's split amongst the packs anyways. We'll take the heaviest stuff up with Barry, and I guess if we beat you there, we'll just start digging, it sounds like. We both got a copy of the map. That's all good. The only thing I'm worried about is if you guys come back out here and we're halfway up the mountain, because you decided not to go this way, rockfall or something inside. Do you have a way to like signal us or something from a distance, and we'll at least have to climb back down? That would add some time, so hopefully it doesn't come to that. I do see an advantage in splitting up to try and like, if there's two possible routes and we don't know if both of them will work, maybe one of us gets inside and grabs the thing and comes back out. So like, I get that.
Skink has this like irrational. I had an inside thought that's gonna stay an inside thought that was like, oh, we'll just have the volcano explode. That will be the that will be the sign. And then immediately was like, no, that's bad. That's bad for everyone. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, so
right.
So Orlo asks if you have a way to signal them from a distance, and Skink just has this dissociated look of like the world on fire.
Like, yeah.
Could
we trust Pip to send a message? Can Pip fly? Is it too cold for Pip? Like, how long could Pip reasonably fly without freezing to death out here?
Can I insulate Pip's feathers?
I don't know if you've ever tried.
Can I try right now?
Yeah, what does the ability text say? Let's see if I love this idea.
So it's a minor enchantment. I can bestow a small enchantment on an object or surface I can touch. I don't have to without using one of my enchantment slots. It's limited to 1 square foot of surface area and lasts until the end of my next turn.
So brief.
Yeah.
Yes, so it is too.
Yeah, I think if you're doing it for jackets and stuff, you can assume that you're just like constantly just maintaining it.
Re-upping it.
But for Pip, it would be he'd get best. I think so. You guys have seen him like jumping around and playing in the snow and everything out here. So like, as long as the weather is not awful, Pip can move about. Fair enough.
Okay.
I think the danger for him would be like if a blizzard rolled in or the temperature dropped like precipitously or something, he would have to like take shelter.
Right. Or he could get lost.
Eh.
Not from us.
So we are. My understanding is that Pip could signal for us.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah. If
Okay.
things go well enough, like you could use him as a little courier.
You have Whisper, but that is proximity based.
Pretty limited range, yeah.
Okay.
Although just kind of goes, yeah, I mean, as long as the bird's up for it, not going to be a lot of centaurs climbing a mountain out here. I don't expect. So I think he'd be able to spot us. Okay. I mean, and he kind of like indicates, on the map and with landmarks, like this is the path we're going to take, more or less. I mean, fair enough. And what we'll do is we'll say we figured it'd take us 2 or 3 days to climb, allowing for weather. Meet back at base. Well, we'll meet back here. Weird to say this. Meet back here in a week if nothing else happens. It's 2-3 days up, 2-3 days back. We'll just camp here at the base of this waterfall nearby. And you guys do the same if like mission goes well and somehow you beat us out here. You got to send the bird up to find us. We'll just plan to rendezvous here. It's a little riskier, but it's better than climbing for a week and finding out we got to go another route anyways, and then we're worried about running out of rations and stuff being out here too long. So there is that. All right, I think we got a plan.
Good. Should you maybe wait here and make sure we make it up the ice waterfall?
Yeah, I mean we'll stick around for a few minutes here, no problem.
Yeah.
You wanna set out now?
What time is it right now?
It's actually getting towards dawn. And he goes, actually, what we will do is
wait, does
once you
dawn mean like 3 p.m.? What does that mean?
I think up
Right.
here it's we've said it's around like noon to 1. It's like lunchtime.
Okay, yeah. So we've been like moving around for like 4 hours or so.
Yeah.
Ish. Okay. Yeah.
And what Orlo says is like, and what we'll do is we will go ahead and just go get our base camp stuff with Barry and come back here and then set out from here. So if you come out before we're back, you'll at least have the camp and the supplies and everything and the tents and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I like the heavier duty stuff, so it's all in one spot. So that'll be something.
Very well. Thank you for getting us this far.
Should we set off in the middle of the day? We don't know how long it'll take us to get in the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine... even if this route is way more direct, you're still going to be in there at least a day or so. Like, it's just he's just kind of pointing like the distance from where you guys are, like relatively low on the mountain to like the peak is a bunch of miles. He's like, and even if it's a clear shot, like you're not going to be there immediately. So there's that. So.
Are you saying that we should camp here for a day and then start tomorrow?
Well, if you think this route is faster and you want to give us a head start, go for it. But we're not going to stand here and wait for you to climb in that case, obviously. If you want to get started now and we'll go set up the camp and everything, we'll probably, if this is faster, we'll arrive at the top after you guys. If this winds up being slower, it's all a toss up. You guys would know Ciro said this should be a good bit faster than climbing up. But that doesn't mean like an hour. It probably means like a day and a half instead of 3 days.
Okay. Yeah. I think we should go ahead and start.
All right.
We can always sleep in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to take your packs and your sleeping gear and everything regardless. So
we're not gonna have a good way of keeping time.
Yeah, that's an interesting puzzle.
As a goblin, do you have any ability to keep time underground?
I mean, I have a good sense of like whereabouts underground, but
I'm gonna weigh in as both the GM and the game creator here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say goblins specifically have a lineage ability called tunnel sense. which is written with the eye towards like knowing if there's other creatures around you and stuff. But I think it is a very logical extrapolation from that to be like, if this is a creature that predominantly exists underground, like they have as good a sense of time as an above ground creature does during the day, you know? So I think that's fair. You would have some vaguest sense of like how much time has passed.
Right. Like I think it's like an inner sense of time as opposed to an outer sense of time. Like
Exactly.
Skink's personal circadian rhythm is like very dependable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not
Skink will be tired at night and awake during the day. Like that is
Not like when you put a human in a cave.
right.
No.
Yeah. I'm like part mole, basically.
basically.
Mhm. Okay, that's good.
All right. So you guys want some help? If you, one of you gets up there and secures a line, we can belay it for you, or we can just head out now if you're going to make the climb on your own, and we'll see if you fell to your death when we get back.
I can climb to the top. I don't think anyone wants to belay me because it'll be real heavy.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to climb.
Okay, so climbing in Relict. Fun stuff. I've got my handy dandy starter book here, which you can buy in the Relic store. We do have climbing rules. Most of the time for a basic climb, by the way, you simply move at half speed. However, this is somewhat difficult because the ice and whatnot. So we are going to use falling, climbing. There we are. Creatures with a climbing speed may climb, but you don't have a natural climbing speed. Normally you move at half speed. This is a relatively straightforward path. It's very craggly, and you're able to like grasp and climb up. The only real complicating factor here is the ice itself. So I will allow you to determine if you want to make a might or a precision check to overcome that. And as long as you score relatively well, we will treat it like a basic climb.
Okay. And are we assuming that we spent time dividing up the packs and everybody doing all this stuff, and that took
So we're well equipped to go.
another
Yeah, so you guys came out here well provisioned for this whole expedition because you like bought a ton of stuff from Galio with like a broad sense of like the things that might happen. So we're gonna hand wave that you have basic supplies that you would need for this trek.
Yeah, and then the base camp was always meant to be abandoned for like a week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, specifically.
Okay.
I have a question. Before I do this, can I conjure armor?
Loving this.
Because it can absorb, right?
Right.
So I have a 7 mana. So I can conjure medium armor that can absorb 2.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that. I thought you were gonna like conjure crampons or something, which would be fun.
I can't. Can I do that?
Yeah, I mean you can conjure weapons and armor and tools and stuff, so I don't see why not.
I think I might just go with the armor.
Okay. So just a little bit of magical armor, so if you fall, you can just nerf it to reduce some damage sources.
Yes.
That's clever enchanter shit, and I love it.
Okay.
Very cool.
And you said might or precision?
Yes, I'm gonna
I'm
leave
go
it
with
to
might.
you to decide. Okay, so just pure athleticism going up this thing instead of trying to like boulder your way up.
Oh man, that's an 8.
8 total?
Yeah.
Not great. I'm gonna be honest with
Right,
you.
right.
Yeah. Okay, said it was about 30. We'll say 35 feet up. Okay. Sarah.
Yeah.
You get about halfway up.
Yeah.
Grab for what you think is a rock, and it turns out to be ice. And at this point, you've been climbing long enough that you're like hot.
Yeah.
And the heat from your hand slicks that outer layer of ice and you slip off, and you've got one action or you're falling. What do you want to do?
Hold on.
Skink, you see her. And just,
Wait, I can heat or cool a target. I have
Yes.
1 mana left.
Okay.
It's a 1+ mana activation
Okay.
cost. Why is there plus? I don't remember.
What ability?
Minor enchantment. I bestow a small enchantment on an object or surface I can touch without using an enchantment slot. So I can heat or cool it.
Minor enchantment, the upcast makes it last for extra rounds.
Okay, so I just want to cool my...
You want to like flash freeze the handhold?
Wait. I can also conjure an item, which is 1+ mana, but 1+ for sustaining. So... I can conjure something, a mundane item, no more than 3 by 3 by 3 inches in dimension, and weighing no more than 1 pound, made of a single contiguous material with no moving part. Can I conjure a small ice pick?
Yeah, that doesn't violate anything. You literally
It'd be tiny. It'd be like
Yeah.
a teeny tiny, but I
Yeah.
want to conjure a tiny ice pick and
Okay.
slam it into the ice.
Go ahead and make another might check.
That is a 10.
Okay.
In total.
Hey, I was hoping to beat your last check with this. Is what we
Okay.
were going for.
Okay.
I was like, can you like overcome what you failed at?
Okay.
So you guys, Skink, you see Farah grab, slip, and like as her other 2 fingers are about to lose that other handhold as 600 pounds of weight slams down, she flash conjures this little like just shard of metal like locked to her wrist like her blood magic weapons and just punches it into the ice as a handhold and Farah, you manage to save yourself.
Excellent. I am going to drop my armor at this point because I don't actually think my armor is going to help me at this height anymore, and I want the mana.
Okay.
For my own imagination and visual effects, how high up is Farah when this happens? Is she like...
She's about
Like 3rd
20
story.
Yeah, about 20-25 feet up at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like
And am I watching from the ground? Did like Farah just say, "All right, that's it," and just went for it?
I believe that the plan...
I'm trying to get some rope down to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Farah's taking the rope up. So she's got to free scale this thing.
Because quite frankly, I can tie the rope to myself and you could climb up and you wouldn't make me budge. So
That's true.
I'm the best option for climbing first.
Yes. So, Farah, you slam into this thing. Okay. And you hear the ice like groaning under the weight of this wedge that you put in there. You've got another 10 feet to go.
All right, I'm
make
going to
another might
keep
check for
climbing.
me. I will say it has come down a little bit. You have a tool now, and it is only a shorter distance.
That is a 9.
Okay, well, I just said that it had come down a little bit. So, you get to the top, and as you get to like where the water had like flowed over the lip of this thing,
yeah,
the ice is brittle, man. Like you get up there and like you punch into it at one point, and it just shatters like a whole dinner plate size piece off that like tumbles down and cascades down towards you guys. You see Tula kind of and backs up. Just that was close. But Farah, you manage to like conjuring these spikes as you need to. Sometimes you conjure a new one and just drive it in and leave it and use it as a foothold before it like disintegrates. And you manage to get over the lip to what you see is like a frozen river leading up and away into this dark mouth of a cave. You have a rope tied around you, tossed down to Skink.
Yep. Can I look for a place to like, where I'm like, it's good and flat. I'm not going to slide around at all.
Absolutely. Yes. I will say you can make a check if you want to do something more advanced than that. But as a 600-pound creature, with the ability to conjure spikes to drive into the ground, it is pretty simple to just go a little ways. And so like you've got 50 feet of rope. It was only 30 something feet up here. You can go 10, 15 feet in and just spike yourself down if that is just all you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
I mean, you're on a flat surface of ice and you can basically just be like, I'm really heavy. Now I'm anchored. Done.
Yeah.
And haul down to Skink when you're ready. And Skink, you are welcome to make the climb.
Okay. So Farah has thrown down a rope, and I'm not like just holding onto it while she pulls it up. I am climbing the rope. Correct.
That's up to you guys. It's really a matter of who wants to make the checks.
I think that Farah is focused on being stable, so she wouldn't be pulling you up. You would have to climb.
Okay. All right. So Skink ties the rope, ties the bottom of the rope around her first.
Does like the rappel thing.
Smart.
Just to make sure that like there's some extra stability there. And then starts to climb and is doing her little goblin climb. It's just sort of muttering like, yeah, if only there was like a dragon to conjure. If I could just have my own little like dragon zombie that could fly me to the top of a mountain, wouldn't be the coolest. This sucks. You know, and like is just really feeling like she should be, if she was the coolest kind of necromancer, if she was the best shadow mage, she would never have to climb again. And like just that this is what's in Skink's mind as she climbs the rope, just having to use her actual physical strength instead of cool magic.
Go ahead. So Skink, I'm gonna say the challenge for this is only at a 4 because you've got a rope now.
Okay.
The Farah has taken on the bulk of the risk on this and put you in a position where like failure is significantly less dangerous than it would have been free climbing. So go ahead and make a might check. You're just shooting for a 4.
Okay.
We'll just see if something funny happens.
I'm just gonna check my might score. My might is, it's only a 1.
Okay, so you gotta roll a 3 or higher.
That's a 1. It's a 6.
Yay! This climb sucks. Just
Hate
sucks.
it.
Everything about
Hate
it
it.
sucks. You slip a couple of times, but it's fine. You're just holding onto the rope. Farah, you feel this tug as she works her way
I have
up.
this sense of like, you know how like when little kids get tired and they just like hang for a while, like Skink definitely like gets there for a while, then just stops and is just like, ugh, and then has to like keep going again.
It.
Yeah.
We physically can't, but I believe in you.
And just, you know, just begrudgingly makes it to the top.
So how long does it take?
How long does it take?
Yeah, like how long does it take you comparative to me?
I know, right? Because I love the idea that it was actually harder for you, but it still takes me the same amount of time.
Or
right?
longer. Like I envision it actually takes you longer.
Yeah. Or longer.
You're taking breaks for sure, because Farah was just like pegboarding this thing, just getting up there.
Yeah.
Like CrossFit style. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I slipped, but I got it.
Skink
is just like,
Skink is very like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. You know that's
You also have the luxury of being on a rope where if you fall, it's like significantly less dangerous. So getting to the top is a lot less of a
right.
motivation.
Yeah. I was like, oh God, I have to do this.
So you like I envision you taking twice as long. And it's Farah's at the top, like, what is no, actually Farah knows Skink well enough to know exactly what's happening.
Yep.
You see Pip like sitting on the ridge, like sitting on the lip, like watching you, like Has a little cheer for you when you get up to the top.
Yeah.
Just
I feel like every once in a while, Pip would have like flown out to just like see and then flown back. And just
Still
like
alive,
flown
mother.
out, flown back.
you can do it, mother.
And the centaurs are down there watching like, wow, can you believe this? Like, I've
At
never
one point-
seen anyone climb a rope so slow.
Pip does the thing that like parakeets and stuff do where they like grab onto the rope sideways and he's like looking down at you like, you'll
Yeah.
do it. Kind of shimmies up ahead of you. Just-
Yeah.
Starts
Okay,
spinning,
occasionally
flies
when I
away.
was just hanging there, came to like peck at me.
Mhm.
Come on. Like pulls your hair a little bit, trying to help.
You're not helping.
You guys
And then
get to the
Yeah, so I get to the top eventually.
Yes. You guys look into the mountain, and even with your dark vision, you see a frozen sheet of ice flowing up into the depths of inky blackness beyond. And as you wave goodbye to the centaurs and they turn to make their way back out across the frozen lake, that is where we're going to end episode 11 of the Nyx Archive.
I think I
Alright.
look over at Farah and I was like, I already kind of missed them.
I know. I don't know that I really like it being just you and I. I normally love it and prefer for it to be only you and I, but you and me. But I don't know. It's a weird
then
world up here.
I love the idea that maybe Skink would have gone to the top and waved goodbye, and then as they're walking away, Skink was like, "Wait!" and they can't hear.
No.
Oh. As you guys watch them recede into the distance for a few moments, you hear Pip kind of nestling down in Farah's hood once again. Odd one, freaky mother.